Hello everyone, and welcome to Star Trek Amaterasu, a Star Trek Adventures 2nd Edition game set on an Odyssey class in the year 2395. My name is ELH the Game Master, and joining me are three lovely individuals who will meet right away because I am very eager to begin play. So we'll start with Matthew. Matthew, who you playing and anything you want to shout out?
Hello, everyone. As you've heard, my name is Matthew, and I am playing the Doctor Amun Matan, a Cardassian.
All right,
And I have nothing
Tech.
to say beyond that.
I figured. Techno, what do you got going on?
Hi everyone, I'm known as Techno. I am playing the Betazoid Lieutenant Commander Jeanette Cato, and I'm excited to be here and looking forward to many more sessions with this group as always.
Love it. And last but not least, Bean.
Hello, I'm Bean_Goblin PT. I occasionally stream, so check me out on my Twitch channel, I suppose. Maybe whenever I exist. But yes, I am playing, I guess, the AI core of the ship. I finally actually get to be the AI core of the ship. Let's go. I'm not detached from my body. And I plan to take over, maybe not this session.
But like Secret Romulans, it is inevitable. We have to do at least one session of, I guess, taking over the ship.
My ship.
Yeah. All right, well, let's run that introduction and we'll get started. And welcome back. So, as is tradition for my Star Trek Adventures games, is I have the players do an opening log. And I believe, Mr. Matan, you have that honor today, so please take it away.
Medical Officer's Log, Stardate 72018.4. After a smidgen of spatio-temporal chicanery on the journey to the Amaterasu, the secondary crew has finally arrived at our destination and begun to settle into our positions. Mine is in the tertiary sickbay. I've never seen a starship that requires more than one, but the Amaterasu is unlike any other starship on which I've served, outstripping even the venerable Galaxy class. Though this is no pleasure liner, it's a warp-capable starbase, and elegant despite its bulk. The same cannot be said of my sickbay, however. Though the technical specifications on paper are all acceptable, and the stores are actually well organized, more than adequate to address any conceivable crisis that we're likely to encounter during our foray into the Andromeda Galaxy. And even were that not the case, the Atagarasu's replicators and our shipboard's artificial intelligence were capable of synthesizing relatively delicate and intricate compounds. I think that we're in good hands in that regard. However, the physical environment is another thing. Given that they were aware of our AI's ability to circumvent pranks in the computer and replicator system, it seems that the engineers at Utopia Planitia became inventive. They tampered with the industrial replicators, because every single biobed is off-standard. One is just 2.54 centimeters shorter than the standard, another 2.54 centimeters longer, Another 2.54 centimeters close to the floor. Another angled at 2.54 degrees is out of alignment with the other beds and maglocked in place. That number is showing up everywhere, and I don't know why. The nursing staff has been sympathetic, but there's no one to actually assist me in the matter. Engineering is chasing down something called gremlins throughout the ship. They have more pressing matters to attend to. But irksome minutia appears to be the norm for the first few weeks of this new posting. Meetings with the crew of the Amaterasu support craft and our direct superiors, consultations with staff to break the ice, establish expectations and norms, minor frustrations with technical glitches, like the medical transporter in Isolation Room 3 that keeps transporting, quite literally, thin air between pads 1 and 4. At least it's not doing it every 2.54 hours or something. Soon, though, we'll be on the frontier, and then beyond it. I wonder what we'll meet out there. End log.
I'm spending 2 threat that as we hear the end of the log, we hear the transporter beam in the background. And just, I'd like to imagine that Matan just slowly looks over off screen and just.
I am angry that they got past my checks. They went for the unorthodox.
No, I have to be inventive because I've got a ship AI, and we have, of course, the brilliant minds of Utopia Planitia. So how can they get it past Aegis is the question.
Nobody expects the industrial intellect locator.
Nobody does. Nope. All right. Well, today's session, we're actually going to start in the tertiary sickbay. So, Matan, you're already there, but walking in is Lieutenant Commander Kato. And I guess you can either walk in or you can materialize, your call. But this is where you're supposed to meet your direct report, A1 Commander Mara, the Chief Intelligence Officer of the Amy. But she's not here yet, so I'm going to give you all a chance to do middle management things before I throw plot at you.
So I'm going to materialize in with a data pad, and I'm going, that's another 2.54 number. That this is 1,200 instances of that number.
Do you think this might be portentous in some way? I seem to recall a log from the old Enterprise where they kept on encountering the number 3, and it turned out to be some sort of like temporal message sent from their artificial intelligence officer, Commander Data.
It's the number of days and hours that the weeks and hours that I gave to one of the engineers as extra hours for pranks listed on the replicators. 2 weeks and 54 hours for disrupting Starfleet officers' time with these incessant pranks.
I see. So, in a sense, you're to blame for this.
I was dishing out apt and by the book punishment for disrupting officers' time and the working of a new ship.
Yeah, it seems like you're just trying to defer blame, but I understand that impulse.
Why did punishment exempt more misbehavior?
I think it's a human thing. They take it as a dare.
Why is this madlocked? Why is this maglocked to the floor?
And the door's going to open, and I'm going to walk in at that point.
Lieutenant Commander, good to see you.
Likewise, yeah, I'm sensing a great deal of distress from this room, and I thought perhaps I was late to the meeting, but
I will readjust my processes. These numbers are unimportant, and they will not get to me.
well, that's good to know. But and I've no idea what you're talking about, but it's good to know. But I was referring, of course, to the good doctor who seemed agitated, and he's going to sort of walk over to one of the bio beds and just take a seat on it, and just say, "Doctor,
Yes, Lieutenant Commander.
is this bed lower than the others?"
By
Don't ask.
2.54 centimeters. as I mark a note on my pad.
It's strangely noticeable despite such a small incongruity. Never mind. And he stabs back up off of the bio bed, so he's standing again rather than sitting. I take it everything is otherwise in order.
Surprisingly so, yes. I haven't had any reason to complain, which is unusual. Everything is running in almost meticulous fashion.
Well, not to worry. I'm sure something will happen to change that. And he gives him a sort of camaraderie, or camaraderie, a friendly pat on the shoulder.
Yes.
My
Do I need to
uniform
ask you not to do that again? It's not meant to be insulting. It's just that was quite disturbing.
Understood.
Okay,
Yep,
I'm
personal
glad you
space
picked up on that.
barriers. Yep, no, I sense your discomfort. As soon as I did it, I apologize.
It's quite all right. I just wanted to vocalize it and put it on record. Not that I'm offended in any way.
Good to know. I'm sorry I had to go to a record, but noted for future. I sure my hands are clean. I like. Okay, no, it's
It's
fine.
just the wrinkle. I mean, it was quite straight,
Uh,
well pressed.
Cardassian uniform standards are some of the highest in the Alpha and Beta quadrants. Disrupting it is considered a cultural faux pas.
Duly
I'm glad that you're aware
Thank
of
you,
this.
Aegis. Yeah,
Yes.
okay. I wasn't aware of that. So, any other cultural or personal boundaries I should be aware of before we start anything? Our mission together, I mean.
What do you think we would interpret that as meaning?
Uh, uh, just being clear, it's
Cardassians do not have as an open relationship as Betazoids have, Lieutenant Commander.
Well, no
Well,
one has
yeah,
a relationship that's quite as intimate as the Bajorans, pardon me, Betazoids.
Possibly true. I mean, let's not get too into the weeds on who has the most intimate relations or interspecies relations on the ship. What are we talking about again?
Well, isn't it true that your species actually just leaves your minds open to all of the parties on your planet? It's remarkable.
On Beta Z, yes. I mean, because it's our primary means of communicating and talking, verbalizing, which is why I seem a bit out of practice. I don't know if you can tell, but typically a lot of the communication is just mind to mind. It's much easier than verbalizing everything.
I'm sorry we haven't made you uncomfortable by requiring that of you. And
everybody everywhere makes me uncomfortable. It comes with the territory of being sort of psychically sensitive, unfortunately.
Have you spoken with our counselors about this?
Oh no, it's fine. It's not a thing that I need counseling for. It's just
I mean,
need
if
to
you're
be
discomforted.
Well, it's more a me thing. I tend to leave myself more open than I should, and I should probably work on that. But I feel new posting, new crew. It's nice to get a feel for how everyone's feeling, and so I'm sort of being a bit more receptive than usual, I suppose.
Talking about communication, my universal translator is no longer overtasked from the previous events. Also, Dr. Mon, I would like to compliment you on your assessment of my mental state during the time of my overtaxation. The green was actually meant to represent that I was not well at the time, considering you are the doctor at the time. However, the thumbs up was to indicate a affirmative.
I'll make a note of that. You're welcome.
I hope I should have checked in before now, Aegis, but it's been so busy what with coming aboard and everything. But I trust your box that was marked red made it aboard.
It is currently in the correct position, yes.
And that's good. No one's been messing with it or messing with
Nobody
it in a way
has
that
dared
wasn't.
to mess with it.
Are they supposed to? Is it?
They are not meant to mess with it.
I feel like surely it should be integrated into the ship by now, though.
It has been integrated by the ship.
Okay, good.
Aegis 1 was able to do the procedures. I did not let anybody else do that.
And what was actually in the box?
My primary emotional processor. It's very personal.
Well, emotions are very uniquely personal. So that
It's a
makes
very
sense.
sensitive piece of equipment, and one of the things that actually responds to touch.
Why?
I have a sense of touch throughout the entirety of the ship.
Oh, that must be, never mind my dis that must be
Disconcerting.
incredibly uncomfortable.
I dull it for the majority of the time. Like most sensory things, I could uh, do a thorough scan of the entire ship. However, if I was doing that 24/7, my processors would be overtaxed.
I feel like that would be like being completely aware of all the cells in your body, or
Yes,
like
I
all
guess
the
that
blood vessels.
would be the thing. I could be aware of every single bulkhead and crew member in the ship at all times. However, that would be overtaxing,
Then why have it?
just in case we need it. If we are to be boarded, I need to know where all personnel are at all times and their current state.
I suppose
And
that
having
makes sense.
additional sensors on that, including a sense of smell. The only one that I don't have
Smell,
installed,
sense of smell.
yes, I have an auditory factor in most hallways and major places. Engineering, med base, bridge.
Real
Okay,
quick,
so
Matan, what does your sick bay smell like?
I would say it has that kind of ozone antiseptic odor of both the cleaning solutions and that faint burning of the air that comes with the sterilization fields.
Okay. Sorry, continue. I just wanted to add that little detail.
The reason for this is that even though my sensors are some of the best in Starfleet, I can't necessarily rely on them. In all situations, they have been, well, Romulan personal cloaking fields is one example of this, where standard Starfleet sensor grid will not be able to penetrate it without knowing the exact frequency.
you
However,
you
being
could
able
smell
to
them.
detect the footprints on the floor or the smell of the
Oh,
person's cologne, body odor, may be able to detect where the person is in the room.
I'm just fascinated that Starfleet was able to implement all these myriad sensor systems into the vessel, although it's also somewhat disconcerting.
It
I'm
is.
I'm really curious to know whether a Tarkalian pine fruit smells the same to you as it does to me.
Well, isn't that a question that we all ask? Is our experience of the qualia of various different objects really the same? Is my experience of red the same as your experience of red? How could
You
I
know,
ever
Doctor,
know?
I never thought to ask.
Maybe what I feel or experience mentally when I see the color red is what you feel or experience when you see the color green.
Well,
My
I mean, we've certainly established that Cardassians view green in a much different emotional state
Exactly
than,
my point. And maybe that's
well,
why we have the evolution of these different sort of sociological signals.
I don't think I'm particularly well qualified to answer on any aspect of this, but it's certainly very interesting.
Isn't it, though? Where is our commanding officer, by the way?
Oh, I've been here the entire time,
Ah,
and literally stepping out of your office is Commander Mara. So,
Uh,
Commander Mara
yeah, Kato
is.
gets a bit more sort of that parade dress kind of thing. Straightens up a
So,
bit.
Commander Mara is a 8 foot tall, black skinned, and I mean like jet black skinned, almost Oni looking individual, Oni ogre kind of thing. She has two very prominent horns, pointed ears, tusks that protrude from her bottom lip, and she is wearing, of course, the stereotypical Starfleet Intelligence black uniform, and she's holding a pad, and she says, "You know, I guess I expected you to call me out earlier, but either I'm doing a very good job from hiding from you, or we need to talk about your sensitivity."
You had not said that was the beginning of the meeting, so I had not need to discuss with you at that time.
You know what? Fair point. Fair point. I didn't mean for this to be a test, but your conversation was just so fascinating. I didn't want to interrupt.
I mean, I always have your com badge listed location since you are a senior officer.
This is true. This is very true. But no, let me
Which
make
is
sure I've got
left
everybody's
on the
name
desk.
right for the record. And she kind of looks at her pad and she fake adjusts a glasses that she doesn't actually have. Let's see. Amin Matan, medical officer, pretty good service record. Interesting. Matan, what would you say your favorite color is?
The odd question to pose, I suppose, blue.
Very good. I'll get you a blue vase with flowers.
That'll match my uniform, I suppose.
Very good. And then we have Lieutenant Commander Jeanette Cato, Betazoid. Also interesting service history. What is your favorite animal?
My favorite animal. I mean, it's hard to pick just one. Elaborating question. To eat or as a domesticated pet?
However you want to take the question.
Well, I'm vegetarian, so definitely not the former, but in the latter sense, I mean, what's the big Vulcan cat? The Shalat?
Salat.
Salat.
Or
Yeah.
Salat. Yeah.
One of those is definitely up there, I think. Most types of feline, pretty high on my list, I'd say.
Well, I'm glad I replicated this ahead of time. And she reaches into her pocket, pulls out a little hollow emitter and hands it to you. And a little kitten,
thank you.
holographic kitten, materializes in your hand.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. After hearing what you said earlier about needing a bit of therapy, I'm glad I thought ahead.
I don't need therapy. That wasn't what I said. I said quite distinctly I don't need therapy. In fact, I know that sounds like something that somebody that needs therapy would say, but I'm not adverse to the idea of therapy.
Question.
Answer.
Lieutenant Commander Cato, does my presence disturb you more or less since you are not able to discern my mental thoughts?
Honestly, your presence disturbs me more now. I know that you're constantly smelling everyone.
I am not constantly smelling you. I have a sense of smell which is
me. It's everybody.
I don't have it switched on all of the time.
Okay. How do we know when you do?
How do you know?
Is there like a smell alert or something? Or
I don't have the smell. Certain chemicals have auditory response. She's just more flustered by this. Like, this. Okay.
To answer
how about I answer your question by another question? How do you know I'm not observing you in other means?
Well, I don't. I suppose when you put it like
Precisely.
that.
So why would you worry about it?
Well, now I am because you brought it up.
This kind of, if you'll forgive me, paranoia about being watched all the time.
No, hang on.
The anxiety regarding the intentions of your fellow crewmates. This seems to be the sort of thing that you might want to address in therapy. And I don't mean this in a negative sense. Therapy could be a wonderful thing for anyone. Just a little tune up. It's like getting a treatment for your lumbar or something like that by a chiropractor. So that everything works well.
I think therapy is
no shame.
I've done. I know. I've done therapy.
Well, you're acting as if there is.
No. This is the problem with verbalizing things. If we were having this thought to thought, you'd understand where I'm coming from, like just implicitly.
You wouldn't want to go into my mind, but you'd be free to articulate it that way. I would give you leave to do that if you found it would be more inconvenient.
Well, forgive me for saying so, but Cardassian minds are typically very closed. It's quite difficult to get a read on a Cardassian mindset and have that kind of. Maybe over time as we continue to work together, but it's akin to trying to batter down a gate with a stick.
An open mind is like a fortress with its gates unbarred and unguarded.
I think my analogy works better.
I didn't hear your analogy. Sorry, Aegis.
It's a language barrier.
Oh, well, yes, I suppose in a manner of sense, it is. Yes.
Commander Mara is just writing all this down on her pad the entire time.
So this kitten is this, and he's still holding a holographic kitten and has been sort of just gently sort of stroking it. Is this like ageist? Does this go around? What's the deal with the cat, sir?
Well, the reason I gave you the cat is also a way to lower your stress levels because I sense a great deal of stress within you.
Only because of this conversation, I think. But as I was also explaining to these two before you came in, I don't know if you caught it or not, but I've been leaving my telepathic senses open a lot more. So I just so I'm more receptive to. It's fine. The cat's lovely. Thank you, sir.
Mm.
Does it have a name?
No, you get to name it.
Ooh.
I can integrate it into the ship, so you would be able to have it in any holographic area, which is 95% of the ship.
Well, now, which areas don't have holographic emitters?
Certain Jeffrey tubes, which would not be able to fit it. There is a airlock on deck 3, which is suited for escape, but for not holographic usage.
Oh,
And various other minor areas that are hard to fit a holographic emitter and also its primary purpose.
no, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Would it trouble you, Aegis, to transfer the kitten to my
I have
quarters?
I have space in my sink, and you have space in your sink for your personal computer,
Uh, I mean, don't put it in the sink.
as in data storage.
Oh,
It's why I
sure.
was
Yes,
having
please.
trouble with my universal translator because I was not able to sync the data.
Oh, sink, not sink.
Yes.
Excuse me. Yeah. Yeah. If you please, then.
I just like sort of wave my hand at it, and it's basically transferred to your quarters.
Thank you. So yes, Commander, thank you for the cat and
Are you
everything.
done with your psychological testing questions, Commander?
No, actually, I guess I had a question for you.
You may proceed to ask it.
Well, it's interesting because I see here that you have an affinity for cheesesteaks. Is this an error?
No, the original program, IGUS, was raised up to respond to organic stimuli, and the sense of taste that they developed throughout the process enjoyed cheesesteaks.
Is a cheesesteak just like a big slice of cheese that's
They really like cheese. They really like steak. I cannot reiterate how much they like that food.
No, but
Of
I think
course,
we're
it
just
was
trying to
only
ascertain what it
but
is. Is
yeah,
it a steak that's in the form of the block of cheese, or is it cheese
cheese
that's in the
in
form
the
of the
form of a
steak?
steak.
as in steak, lots of cheese.
Oh, steak with cheese on top.
Yes.
That doesn't sound particularly
Ah.
appetizing.
Well, I mean, not for me anyway, but it's interesting to learn about other cultures.
Oh, are you actually vegetarian or vegan? Just to clarify.
Oh, vegetarian, but I mean,
So the cheese would be fine.
I
uh,
mean,
depends.
technically, the cheesesteak she had was vegetarian. In fact, it was holographic.
Well, I mean, I suppose technically everything that comes out of the replicator is vegetarian, so it's fine because it's not real meat or dairy or it's just
How-
Your
resynthesized
dietary
molecules.
preference, your dietary preferences have been put into the computer, and when you order food, the raw resources are then chosen based upon your dietary requirements. So you do not have to worry that no domesticated animal, well, hasn't been done
Well,
some stuff.
that's exactly my point. But I mean, it's all just basically reconstituted particles in the first place. So like it all tastes. I mean, taste is the only real and texture, I guess, and I guess smell. It's all
But
the
how do
same
we know
thing.
that? None of us
What
have actually eaten non-replicated food, I think, as far as animal products are concerned.
I have
Do we
well,
know
no.
that steak
again,
actually tastes like steak? And maybe it tastes like chicken, and we
well,
wouldn't know.
I don't know what a chicken is, but I
It's
mean,
a
I don't.
human avian. It's quite hideous.
All
Right,
of the
right.
food that I have eaten is simulated, so I have no context to know what is non-replicated and replicated.
Precisely the
Well,
point.
I feel like this is the same question we had about smell and color.
Yes. It's fascinating how everything comes around.
Well, isn't it?
Metaphysics.
Yes.
Hmm.
I have a feeling you three are going to get along just great. And Mara continues to smile as she writes down some notes in her pad. Well, as much as I hate to be a bit of a downer, I actually do have a task for you three. As
Oh,
a
yep,
member
of
of
course.
Star, well, as you all are members of Starfleet Intelligence, and since the Amaterasu is an intelligence vessel, it is
Thank you.
important that we have a series of, shall we say, checks and balances aboard the ship. Now, I'm not going to make you go tell the captain off. I'm not going to make you assert your authority and take over command. But what I would like you all three to do is to act as sort of a secondary monitor of things. Now, of course, I guess I already know you monitor everything, but what I mean is I want to understand my crew I'm serving with a little bit better. So, in your case, Kato, I want to know what you know about the crew in serving as an intelligence officer, what their likes are, what their dislikes are, why that biobed is 2.54 centimeters lower than it should be.
I noticed that. Yeah, isn't that weird?
Utopia, Glishisha will suffer my vengeance.
You should make a note of that, perhaps, in
I
your
feel
record.
like,
Or
yeah,
Make a
that's
note.
a worrying. Yeah.
Make a note.
Mhm.
Which, Doctor, for you, even though the tertiary sickbay is nominally yours, you are in command in the sickbay. I would like you to visit the other sickbays from time to time and give me your honest feelings about how they purport themselves. Are they actually practicing good medicine? Are they keeping track of the stores? Are they treating injuries with efficiency? That sort of thing.
within the bounds of doctor-patient confidentiality, of course, I'd be happy to report on anything that I observe in the other sick bays.
Very good. Then, your first mission is I want you all to observe and monitor the crew as we pass through Pandora's gate.
The
Is there?
entirety of the crew?
Yeah, that
Yes.
question. Because that seems, I mean, love a challenge, sir. Not a problem at all. But just that seems a tall order if it's the whole crew. I mean, I can certainly get a feel for their mental well-being and mental states and emotional um, fluctuations, but like, can you elaborate on exactly what you want us to report, sir?
Well, as funny as it is to say this, there have been reports of recent ships going through Pandora's Gate experiencing some, shall we say, disconcerting feelings. And what I mean by that is there have been reports of, and she looks at her data pad, tasting sound and seeing the scent of roses. It's all disconcerting of senses being sensed by senses that they shouldn't be. But considering you are Betazoid, you are the ship, I guess, and Matan, you are Cardassian, you are uniquely all three honed in on this sort of thing.
Hmm. And no explanation has been provided for this synesthesia that people have been experiencing?
That is what is the most concerning thing. It started about 3 months ago, and in that entire time, no one has been able to track down what the cause is.
Hmm.
Cato's got a patent. He's just looking up the word synesthesia.
And
Oh,
does this
puts
affect
the pad.
does this affect people, Paul, that have had cases of synesthesia in the past, or has it been a broad term with no correlating data?
It has affected everyone with no bias.
Have there been any long-term side effects that we should be aware of?
Not that we're aware of, but
Hmm.
if you are detecting the cause, I would like you all to handle the cause if it is within your wheelhouse. Of course, don't feel pressured that if you feel that you cannot accomplish the task, feel free to report to me or another senior officer, and we will take it off your hands.
Does everyone aboard ship experience this, or is it only select individuals?
No, it's quite literally everyone without bias. And Mara actually looks directly at Igus for this. Igus, I know you said that you normally don't have your taste and your feel, your sense of touch turned on, but if it's not an imposition, I would like you to turn it on as we transition through Pandora's Gate, just so that we can gauge whether or not it is a, shall we say, something that affects the ship as well.
My sense of taste is only active when I do so on my primary hologram. However, I will be able to do the rest of the senses around the ship if you wish to. However, it will tax my senses processes, so it will maybe affect the traversal of the Amaterasu through the singularity.
Use your best judgment.
Do I have your permission to affix neurocortical monitors to myself and Lieutenant Commander Cato?
Of course, by all
And
means.
of course, Lieutenant Commander, I wouldn't do so without yours as well. I'm not that kind of Cardassian doctor, if you take my meaning.
Um, no,
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 okay.
no, I don't take your meaning, but yes, you can do the thing.
Oh, Cardassia has some. You're familiar with the occupation of Bajor and other territories, yes?
Well, yes. I
Okay.
mean, yeah.
So you might want to read up on that.
I can provide
Well,
you
no,
the
I'd
Not
rather
before you go to
not.
bed at night, but
I'd rather not read. It's horrible.
def,
I mean,
fair enough.
no offense. I mean,
I can
it's
provide you
I know you
You're
were.
absolutely
literature on the
correct. It's
subject.
abhorrent.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
unconscionable.
I have
yes, I
many
mean that
reports on it if you wish to examine them, Lieutenant Commander Cato.
not really. No, thank you. I obviously they were required reading at the academy, but I mean, I'd rather not revisit them without cause.
Yes. Never look up the name Kralmosek, by the way. That's just if you're avoiding that sort of thing.
I can't think of a situation where I would have looked up a name I don't know, but
Fair enough. That's
duly noted. Yes, understood. Thank you. Oh, I want to ask why, but I'm not going to. Do you know what would? So yes to the cortical nodes. That would be fine. Commander, can I? Shall I establish a baseline? Shall we say? And he turns to Commander Maru for this. Shall I take give you a sense of what the crew is focused on and feeling right now, and then we can adjust that as we go.
Well, this is your task. Accomplish it however you wish. I'm very
What?
much a hands off manager when it comes to those under me.
Right. Okay. Well, in that case, yeah, I'd like to just sort of tap into the Troy channel and just get a sense of what's going on with the crew.
Ah, yes, the Troy channel.
All Troy, all the time.
Trying to think. I think this would be a presence. I think this is a presence command. Yeah, this is a presence command. Difficulty of
Wonderful. Those
1.
are my power stats, so I'll take that.
Yeah, presence
Uh, I-
command. Difficulty of 1. You do have cultural studies as a focus. And if
Don't
it
have-
matters, you have 1 momentum from chat so far.
I'm going to use it and just see if we can generate more.
Okay.
If that's all right with everyone.
Can I do an
Yep.
assist doing a sensor sweep of the crew for biological, like they're looking at it from a psionic point of view. I'm looking at it from a sorry, my brain can't do words tonight. A medical, like biological sort of through, just getting a baseline for everybody's bio readouts. There it is. There's finally the word.
There you go. I would say you can either assist as Igus using a reason medicine, or this can be using the Amaterasu's sensors and medicine, depending on which you'd prefer.
Either way, I'm gonna roll this.
Senses. I am.
I'm happy with
Well,
that.
there's already 4 successes. Well done.
The exact same. Can I use computers as a focus?
Certainly may.
Certainly may. Awesome.
All right.
Hey.
6 successes, which means you are now at 5 momentum. Well done. So, Kato, what you realize is that the crew is pretty diligent in their work. There's a little bit of anxiety because Pandora's Gate is this big secret in Starfleet intelligence, and a lot of people are gossiping and scuttlebutting about, oh, what's going to be on the other side? Why is this such a big secret? If we're going to another galaxy, shouldn't that be explored more, et cetera, et cetera? Um, you also get the sense that there's an eagerness to begin the mission for real. And you also sense that apparently in one of the secondary sick bays, somebody is having a problem with a Talarian hook spider.
Begins. A quick question,
So
and this
yeah,
is something I'll throw to all of you, like you, Techno. Do you want to potentially use two of the one's momentum to create a trait that might influence you as you move forward, something like hyper attuned, which will allow you to like observe them constantly, so you have this like low level background connection to the crew and its emotional state. Maybe that gives you an advantage later on, or something like that. Just an idea.
if possible, that would be great.
Yeah, that is certainly something you can
I
do.
like the idea of hyper attuned. That sounds like a good
Hypertune.
yeah. So in my mind, and sort of building off what Matt said, that would mean that if there's like a significant shift in the general feeling, that I'd probably pick it up either
So
just like that, or easier should I re-roll this, whichever
Okay.
makes best narrative sense, I'd say.
No, I like it. I
I
like it. And again, I applaud Matthew for bringing in the second edition mechanics there. So I've already added a hypertune telepathy trait to the scene.
Thank you.
um
Can I also, sorry, Bean, can I also ask, is there anyone aboard whose emotions particularly stand out to me?
I would say Commander Mara's only because you can't sense her.
another one that you can't sense. I would like to use my well-informed trait, which allows me to give you two threat to ask two questions.
Sure, I'll take
I
threat.
know it's technically not the beginning of the scene, but I feel like we're still very much at the beginning of
Yeah, I'll allow it. Go
the
ahead.
the adventure. And my two questions are, and the way that this works for me, because it's supposed to be like represent a large network of people, is that
Hmm.
I have five sister ships, which are all AIs, and I am basically querying them about the
Hmm.
information. So I just like my AI just like dots out and reaches out to these other five AIs and asks the question that this synesthesia, has there been any other major outbreaks of it, and how was it medically dealt with?
Now, let me
And
clarify. Do you mean going through Pandora's Gate or just in general?
just in general.
So, there have been reports of one of your sister ships coming near where Pandora's Gate is located. However, they did not experience the effect.
Okay. Um Also, has there ever been a similar event where crew members have been affected by something similar, whether it's synesthesia or something akin to it? And what was like the medical treatment that the Starfleet officer performed, and the medical officer performed to get the crew back to normal?
Mhm. So, there is a record of the USS Arcadia A where they experienced a synesthesia effect. And the way it was dealt with was by anesthetizing the crew and leaving the psychically stunted officer in charge until they left an area of effect that seemed to be producing this effect.
So I got two bits of information from that, which is they knocked out the crew, and
Mm-hmm.
secondly, the psychically stunted, so people who have a less psychic a connection, like Ferengi, Cardassians, and the commander here,
Mm-hmm.
were less affected by the effects.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Dr. Amon,
Yes.
I have downloaded a report that may be useful to the current situation and mission.
Oh,
I will present it to your data terminal.
yeah. And he walks over to the data terminal, picks up a pad next to it, kind of cross references it against the pad, and walks back over. Oh,
Effectively going over the information verbatim. The the Acadia A, was it, ELH?
Hmm.
Of a similar effect of synesthesia and the fact that they knocked out the crew, and also people with less psychic affinity were able to manage the ship while the crew was anesthetized.
And was there any indication as to why this happened, or why they felt the need to anesthetize the entire crew? Synesthesia doesn't seem to be that severe a symptom.
Downloading the incident report. You now have the incident report.
And Matan, as you look at the incident report, it's very funny. Remember how we were talking about the naked now and the naked time before the session? It's a very similar situation where the synesthesia was just kind of the initial problem, and then things devolved from there.
So it had a lasting impact on them after they left the aperture or the tunnel.
At least until they received a comprehensive breakdown isn't the word I want. A comprehensive checkup, I think, is the word I want.
Hmm. Well, I'll pass that information on to Commander Mara, and then with her leave, I'll send that to the other heads of medicine in the other sick bays.
Okay, easily done. And I think Commander Mara actually kind of looks impressed and goes, very thorough, Agus and Matan. I can see that you two can work very well together. And Kato, your insights into the nature of the crew. Again, I'm glad I came to you three for this. I expect great things of your little team.
Question, Commander, if it's not too personal, and if it is, then please tell me. I can't get any kind of sense from you, and I've never encountered your species before. To use the charming term that Aegis noted in the report, psychically stunted, or is it a quite the reverse, and you've made a conscious decision to shield your mental abilities?
I would prefer psychically unattuned. I was just reading verbatim from the report.
No, I wasn't blaming you for the wording. I was just pointing out the wording in the report.
Slightly problematic, yes.
Insensitive.
Yes.
Well, the answer is that my species, the Cisne, are technically based on an augmented human, and part of that augmentation was providing a resistance against telepathy and empathy that usually come from species such as Beta Zeds.
Understood. Thank
However,
you.
I have learned how to open my mind if you wish to take a peek.
Oh no. I wouldn't want to impose or anything. It was just professional curiosity, should we call it?
That's a good thing because the last Betazoid to try that had a headache for the last 3 weeks.
Oh well, no, I don't want that. Thank you.
Last 3 weeks or for the last 3 weeks?
Yes.
Do humans have horns? Is there like a subsect of?
Oh, and she kind of laughs and points up at her horns. That's a side effect of the whole augmentation process.
Oh, and he's got nothing else to add to that. Just oh, they look very nice.
Well, and she actually looks at Matan. Matan, are you familiar at all with the avian makeup of Earth's creatures or Earth's birds?
Although I know of chickens, I think that's as far as my knowledge extends in that regard. I'm not to me, xenobiologist per se.
Really going to have to. And he picks up a pad and starts looking up what a chicken looks like. Just like, oh,
Aren't they hideous?
what is it? Vulcans say, infinite diversity and infinite combinations, and it's just it's it.
But that flap of flesh that's just hanging there, it's not natural.
Well, I mean,
It is by definition it is natural. I understand your objection.
Yes.
I'm glad we are getting off topic.
Yes.
Sorry. Yes, Commander. Yes, I tend to do that when
it's quite fine.
Again on Beta Z. This would all just be happening, and the main thread of the conversation would be continuing. But
I mean, if you get a neural uplink, we'll be able to talk mentally.
I don't think not many people would like that idea. I think
No, particularly since it conjures The Borg,
Well, yeah, yeah.
linking us all to a
As
Gestalt consciousness that's overseen by some sort of artificial
everyone is
intelligence.
slightly unnerved, there's a slight smirk in Aegis which disappears as soon as everybody like notices it.
I think the AI is has started to prank us, Doctor, which is a somewhat alarming turn of events.
Can that just justifiably be deemed a prank?
I would prefer them not to develop the talent or the skill. So
I would do nothing that would disrupt your workflow
I
or your
don't like the
personal
way you
lives.
said that. I definitely don't like the way you said personal lives. Why would you? Why would you need to qualify personal lives?
Because every Starfleet personnel has a personal life.
Oh yes, no, yes, Aegis, they
Well,
do.
when I normally would just say disrupt your workflow, people just assume, oh, you're going to make us work 24/7. I do not want to. You have an allotted break time that every Starfleet personnel is allocated to have.
I think I would feel more psychologically comforted if we were to pivot away from this conversation now.
It's in the rule book.
You're not
I
pivoting
just
away
I
from the
just
conversation.
I
I'd hope that you would take
materialized
that
like the
direct statement of
Starfleet
a request as
protocols,
an
I
indication.
volume 1 in my hand.
I mean, the mad thing is, like, again, I don't want to be that guy, but on
It's
Beta
in
Z, like
it's
everyone,
it's in the rule book.
I think Mara is laughing too. Like she's having a riot here, and she's like,
The rules are important.
"All right,
I
maybe
think.
maybe I should clarify why I brought up avians." And she points at her horns.
Please,
Oh right,
thank you.
yes, yes.
The reason I ask is because, much like avians on Earth, my horns allow me to sense electromagnetic fields like force fields and transmissions and things of that nature.
Chickens can do that, and he's got the pad up again, and he's checking.
Out of character, I think chickens can do it.
I think
I
it's to
think
do with
I
their
think it's every
beaks.
bird.
It's like their beaks are able to pick up electromagnetic so they know where north is, if I remember correctly.
Something like that, yeah.
It's probably not so much in non-migratory birds, but probably very prevalent in migratory birds.
Mm-hmm.
Chickens are fascinating creatures. And he's like literally got like
Oh,
the space wiki up on chickens.
all biological life forms are fascinating their own way.
Thank you. I think that's true.
They
Well,
develop
as much as I would like
without.
to stay here longer, unfortunately, I am required to see another team aboard the ship. We are
Would you like me
transitioning
to
through.
postpone their meeting?
Beta
No,
team.
no, it's fine. I
Oh
guess I
yeah.
got this. We go through Pandora's Gate in 1 hour. Please see to your preparations, and then let me know what you are able to find out when we emerge on the other side.
Yes, 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 sir. Yep.
Of course.
Absolutely, sir. Yes.
Commander Mara smiles and then departs the tertiary sickbay.
As I flip open the book, like personal care of every Starfleet person is an important part of the rules.
No, look, it's not that the rules aren't good and you shouldn't follow them. It's just normally you wouldn't have to qualify that you won't mess with people's personal lives as a matter of course.
Well,
Yes,
that's
certain things
part of
can
the
be assumed.
rules.
Well, no, yeah,
It's precisely because they're part of the rules they can go unstated. People know
it's
the rules.
it's more of like a social expectation that people won't interfere.
Well, I'm not.
What? No, I know, but it's an implicit thing, not a thing that you need to
Well,
outwardly.
I was just clarifying after the comment about Neuralink.
But
Cybernetic implants are completely completely personal and non-mandatory.
At this point, Matan has just like reaches up next to Jeanette's temple and affixes a neurocortical monitor.
oh, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, it's entirely your choice. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Dematerialize the Starfleet Protocols book, which is basically just a PDF file.
Just the file type just appears in a
Yeah,
hand. Yeah.
flips to the page I want.
Oh, Lord.
I,
All right.
yeah.
Matan does the
Uh,
same to himself.
I figured, yeah. All right, so I guess because I'm trying to picture in my head where the tertiary sickbay would be. I imagine it's somewhere in the secondary hall. The question is, does it have windows? I don't know. Open question. Matan, does it have windows to the outside?
I don't think so. I don't think it's on the exterior of the ship.
I think it
Okay.
would be kind of central.
Yeah.
Second question, would you be monitoring any like visual feed or, and this is, I guess, an open question for the three of you. Would you be monitoring a visual feed of the exterior of the ship? Would you want to have a copy of what's on the view screen? Or are you literally just, I'm in this sick bay, I'm doing my thing?
So anywhere that primary Igus isn't, or an instant of Igus is, I assume everything else is in her periphery. So,
Okay.
like, passively, I am looking outwards. So if there's like suddenly a ball cube appeared, I probably would notice that. But if there's something subtle, like a probe or something, I might not pick it up unless somebody was doing a sensor sweep.
Okay,
So
I'll
like
make a
my
note.
vision of the outside world is passive sensors, unless like a crew member goes, "Hey, Igus, do the thing."
Do the thing. Okay, make a note. Same question to Kato and Matan. Would you be monitoring anything, or are you just chilling in sickbay?
Is this
Well,
during the transition
This
or
is before the transition.
okay. I mean, I don't think I've got any reason to be in sick bay any longer than now. So I think I'd probably either I'm going to go to the equivalent of 10 forward,
Okay.
whatever that might be on this ship. We'll have to think of a suitably mental name for it. But yeah, I think I'd probably go there.
Okay.
So expert, in my mind, the best place to go for a beta Z would be the place where people are most relaxed in theory, and
So
then sort of the social hub of the ship kind of thing.
I've got a name. It's on the starboard side of the ship, sixth deck, and it's called the Six Star.
6 star. Okay.
I'd go to 6 star.
I like it. So the
and
reason. Oh, go
I
ahead.
will
Sorry.
stay in sick bay.
Stay in sick bay. Okay. So the reason I ask is because those of you that are monitoring the outside of the ship, it's very strange. You are at warp, and then all of a sudden the stars begin to wink out until you are within a completely black void, a subspace nodule. And there is nothing on sensors, at least until somebody does an active scan and detects a series of buoys that lead to Pandora's Gate. And as we saw in the introductory video, Pandora's Gate is a continually circling, sort of stabilizing ring around a sort of singularity that leads to the Andromeda Galaxy. And at the moment, the singularity is very small. It has not been opened, much like a wormhole. But I would like, since you did make it a trait, Kato, I would like you to do me a insight command at a difficulty of 2 here, since you have the trait hyper attuned focus here, or hyper
I was
attuned telepathy.
I was going to ask, since we're heading into this dead star area or just black area, if it was going to affect the crew in any way, but that is fine. So present, sorry, uh, insight
Insight and
and
command.
command.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want
Difficulty
a
of 2.
momentum?
Yeah, I'm going to take a momentum
So
if that's okay. And do I get my focus in cultural studies again?
You definitely do.
Result.
So
Ooh.
wherever Igus is right now, she's just going to repeatedly blink until she normalizes the fact that the stars are gone,
Okay.
since she's used to that stimuli so much.
I think for Kato, he's just sort of like, ooh, it's just sort of not pressed up against the glass, but just like very much like looking out of the 6 star as much as possible through what I presume are big bay windows like 10 forward has.
Mm-hmm.
Also, has Dr. Aman kicked me out the sick bay? Because unless I need to move somewhere, my instance just stays where it is, looking blankly until I've quested.
No, he just sort of walks around the hologram, and he's spending most of his time in his office cataloging things, reports.
All right. Well, with 5 successes, gives you 3 momentum. Or no, sorry. No, I had it right. 3 momentum. So I believe you're
Okay.
at 5.
Yeah.
Um, Kato, you are actually beginning to sense that There is, what's the word I want to use? Not anxiety, trepidation is the word I want. There's trepidation amongst the crew. Some of them, like Igus, are like, where did the stars go? What's going on here? But since you succeeded so well with the trait in play, I'm going to tell you that there is actually somebody in the 6-star lounge that is beginning to experience synesthesia.
Sorry, just taking some notes. Cool. Can I identify exactly who it is?
Yes, it is an ensign. You don't know their name, but he looks to be human, and he's kind of looking at his hands as if, how do I want to say this in a very tactful way? He's tripping out.
And I'm just going to tap my com badge. Kato to Dr. Matan.
Dr. Baton here, yes.
Uh, well, I know sickbay's got no windows or anything. You may not be aware. We've just we're in proximity of Pandora's Gate. I'm in the 6-star lounge, and there's someone here, an ensign, human, and I'm getting some very weird feelings off of them, and I think they may be undergoing the first stages, he says, sort of questioningly, of this synesthesia thing. I thought you might like to know and come and maybe take some readings, or should I send them to you in sick bay, or
I believe that would be best if you could direct the ensign to sickbay. Also, in the future, if you could avoid using terms like weird, not only is that somewhat judgmental, I think, it's also not particularly helpful. I mean, there are many things that could justly be classified as weird, but if you noted some particulars of his behavior, that would be useful. Diagnostically speaking, I'm saying.
I'm sorry, I completely missed that I used that word, and you're quite right to call me out on it.
It's not meant to be condemnatory at all. I'm just saying it's deference and respect.
By instance, winks over to the 6-star while this conversation's happening.
Well, he ELH, did you say?
Yep, him. Mm-hmm.
He is staring at his. I tell you what.
No. You just send him my way. Just for future reference.
No. I'll do that now. And he just.
Walk over to the ensign.
Okay.
And Kato does the same. Yeah.
All right. So I guess you know who this officer is because you're the computer. You know that this is Ensign Jeffrey. You know that he is one of many that are scheduled to be in Shuttle Bay during his duty shift. He's not currently on duty, but again, yeah, he's kind of like looking at his hands. His eyes are dilated, and he's just like, "Whoa!"
Ensign Jeffrey,
and he kind of shakes his head and he looks up and goes, "Igus, oh man, this is weird. What was in that drink?"
I believe you are suffering some auditory and auditory overstimulation. Would you like to be escorted to medbay?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you shouldn't have 3 heads. And you shouldn't be breathing fire.
I try to mute all my colors. So I go in, try to make myself less like auditory overstimulation to try and get him to focus back to, reality.
Whoa, now you're going all monochrome.
I think she's doing that on purpose, Ensign.
Has my 3 heads disappeared and only has the one?
Nah, now you got like 5 heads. It's like a Hydra thing going on.
I don't think my auditory unstimulation is working.
Well, I applaud the attempt, Aegis, but
visual, auditory. I am very tired.
Ensign, let's get you to the sick bay. I think that would be best at this point.
Whoa, Lieutenant Commander, you've got like this whole like aura about you.
Thank you. You have an aura about you too.
That's deep, man. That's really deep.
Let's
Your
get you on a
I didn't
stretcher.
realize you're part Betazoid. Your eyes. Oh no, your eyes aren't supposed to dilate like that, are they? Let's get you to sick bay. I think that's the tertiary sick bay. That's probably closest. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
it's
So
probably not because it's
It's not. It's not.
I I I'm going to summon Aegis 1, mainly just to be a help with a gurney.
okay.
So Aegis 1 looks a lot more like an upbeat, cheery, shorter version of myself with cropped back hair and has instead of the ranking has just the Roman numeral for 1.
Okay. Interesting.
Aegis 1 reporting for duty.
Whoa, now
And
there's two Iguses and they got like this whole like 15 head thing going on, man.
okay, so you see,
Let's
I was going to ask about whether anyone could see that, but
I'm
and
the
forgive me if the term is it was in some way offensive, but there
I
is a tiny version of yes,
this is Aegis 1, my secondary main instance.
right.
I was going to carry the ensign on this gurney because I do not believe he should be walking.
I mean, if you think about it, we're all walking somewhere. We don't know where we're going, but
Please get
Okay,
on the
yeah.
gurney,
I think
ensign.
just we're just going to not manhandling, but just sort of like gently sort of place him on the gurney at this point.
Don't
and
worry, ensign. We'll look after you.
when you're laying down and you can only look up, where is it you're looking? Are you looking at yourself?
Well, no, you're looking up.
I can provide you a mirror if you do wish to look at yourself. Though I don't think the doctor would like me to do that. So let's just get you to sickbay. How about you close your eyes and just try to center yourself?
All right. Closes his eyes. Whoa. I can see the colors of the universe. Why is it all mauve?
Let's go, says Aegis 1.
So coming into the tertiary sickbay is the good ensign on a stretcher being carried by the two Iguses.
And Kato will follow behind. But
Hello, Dr. Amon. I'm Aegis 1. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
there's small versions of her as well.
I want to ask how small, but would you actually just help me transport him onto the biobed first before we get into the conversation about such
Maybe
minutiae?
use Biobed 1 because it's slightly shorter than the others.
I mean, Aegis is a bit egotistical and made sure that all of her incidents are at least half a foot shorter than her. I did not do it for egotistical reasons. Yes, she did.
I'm concerned that different facets of your own personality or psyche seem to be in conflict with one another, but that actually is indicative of the norm for most organic
I
species as
mean,
well. So
yes, but it's not normally overt.
You would have to ask Aegis 23 for a psychological profile of Aegis.
How
I'm
many
I'm
of
not
you
going
are
to.
there?
I'm going to ask you to put the patient on the biobed. That's what I'm
Of
going to ask
course,
you. Thank
we,
you.
we can actively have 100 instances of Aegises without having to delete any information.
Please try to avoid having any more than one instance in my presence in the future. That's just a courtesy.
I will go back to engineering then. Aegis 1 disappears.
Do you mean more than one instance or more than
Just the
one
one.
additional?
No, just the one.
Oh, I wanted to clarify.
Thank you. I appreciate the demands of precision. Yes. It's
Whoa,
one.
Lieutenant Commander. Like, did you know that everything on the ceiling is 2.54 centimeters off mark?
Oh, by the way, this ensign is on an absolute Star Trek right now.
Title drop!
Matan will take the little dongle there that he's using to scan the patient and then look upward very slowly as if there's some sort of like monstrous creature about to descend upon him from the ceiling and wave the dongle towards the ceiling, look at the readout. Damn it, you're right. Everything is off by 2.54 centimeters.
As Aegis
Doctor,
pulls out a data pad again and does another mark.
Doctor, that's not the
You're right.
salient point.
Correct. Yeah.
It's a salient point. I will give you that, but I feel like
No, no,
Ensign Jeffrey.
I don't
Ensign
think it's
Jeffries,
salient to
by the way,
anything.
I normally found in the tubes, I think, which is why they're called that. But anyway,
Well,
so
yeah, I know everything's off on the ceiling, but I mean, aren't all of us off in some way? Is anybody really built to their specifications?
You see, this is precisely why I said that everyone should try a little bit of therapy now and
no,
again,
so
right?
no,
We're
yeah,
all just a
I
little bit
have built
off.
my
You could need that
specifications.
checkup. But
no, I'm not saying
okay.
I don't need therapy. I'm saying no. I'm not even saying I do need therapy.
I'm just saying that he's onto something,
In
and
fact,
perhaps this entire experience is granting him
I
preternatural
can be
wisdom.
not
well,
built to my
yes, but also
specifications.
he's also very much out of his normal mental state. I feel, Doctor.
Yes. Well, if you'll
Well,
give
I
me a
mean, and
minute,
he sort of looks down at Ensign Jeffrey. I assume this is outside of the norm for your mental state. I mean, you certainly, I'm sensing a lot of wonder and awe and confusion, which it doesn't seem typical for you. But
I mean, if I'm being honest, aren't we all confused in life? Does
I mean,
anybody really know where we're going?
I don't know why I asked him,
we're about to step
Doctor.
into a portal to another galaxy. Why are you not experiencing wonder yourself?
I am like
I am.
I'm.
Very good. I'll take a scan of the ensign.
I mean, part of my emotional processing core is wonder.
Okay, I'm good.
That's good.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Give me a reason medicine, difficulty of 2, and let's take a look at your focuses. Let's take a look.
I don't think so.
Matan.
Quantum mechanics, biological weapons, infectious diseases, substance
Um,
dynamics.
Actually, I
Some
would
space.
give you quantum mechanics here.
Okay.
Oh,
I
quantum.
I
Chat,
will
take a shot.
mainly to Commander Cato. I start maybe augmenting the environmental shielding will be able to help us. Maybe if we modify the practice dish to find the exact emissions which are affecting the crew, we'll be able to stop this effect from happening to us.
What parts of you can experience emotion?
My AI code?
Just the so, but like, is it okay?
I am integrated fully into the ship, so technically any part of the ship can feel emotion.
So that
Since I
wonder that
am the
you're
ship,
experiencing that could manifest through, say, a bulkhead or a wall.
I have not thought about it that deeply.
Hmm.
My central emotional processing core is designed to process all my emotions. However, if I need to data sync it into any terminal, I can do so.
Are you ticklish? This is irrelevant.
I
I'm
have not
sorry,
tested this.
Doctor. Yeah.
So, Matan, I see your roll there. You rolled 1 success. I can offer you a success with a complication, but I'm also looking through your talents and special rules to see if there's any way for you to lower the difficulty or
Not
re-roll
really.
here.
Not the doctor for this sort of thing, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Yeah, you have cautious science, so
Mm-hmm.
so do you want to succeed with a complication or do you want to just not succeed?
I think let's keep things moving forward with a success with a complication.
Okay. So the reason why your quantum mechanics focus comes into play is as you are scanning and taking a read of the ensign, you realize that the temporal lobe, and I don't mean like temporal as in like time travel, I mean temporal as in the part of the brain that handles timing and all that, um, is actually out of sync by like zero point 0.2 microns and is being affected by an external field.
Is it 0.254?
It is now, yes.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, God damn it.
I knew it. It was some sort of temporal message from our future selves or something like that.
If I have to compliment you with please sure about their pranks, please do not make me do so.
Perhaps I missed this part of the conversation or a conversation. Um, huh?
The synesthesia, at least so far as I can surmise, and his aberrant behavior, I assume, He looks down at his eyes. I'm going, yes, I think that assumption is well grounded.
Yes, I don't think he's part Beta Z. I made that mistake too.
Right.
Just
Regardless,
turn and
both
look
of
at you
them
at that point.
seem to be a result of a misalignment of a portion of his brain. It's 0.254 microns out of alignment with the rest of his, well,
Brain.
Yes.
No pathways.
I don't really have much of an explanation other than there seems to be some sort of energy field affecting him.
Would we be able to discern what this energy field is and to protect the ship from it?
Right, I was about to ask exactly that. So
I mean,
could I?
Was that in character or out of character? Sorry.
In character.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, we normally we'd ask you to do that, Aegis. Can you do that?
I would need to know the exact energy pathways and also the effects on the biology to do so, since this is not my field of expertise, even though I have a database on that. I would ask medical professionals. I could, in fact, ask the CMO if you wish for me to do so.
Actually, I was about to say, should we sort of inform the captain of this?
I can immediately locate and talk to the captain if you wish me to do so.
Well, I hope the captain's on the bridge.
They are currently in the captain's ready room.
Well, I mean, deck one. Then I hope they're on
functionally
deck
the same
one.
thing.
Yeah.
Yes, I do believe that would be wise if you'd inform the captain of this, the existence of this field, and perhaps, well, the official senior staff will address it.
Very well. The captain gets the door chime, and then I just materialize immediately into the room.
So we'll cut away from sickbay for just a moment as we go to the captain's ready room on deck one. Inside is Captain Kaffa. She is a Vulcan. And she kind of looks up from her desk and does the Vulcan eyebrow raise at you and says, I guess, what is it I can do for you?
Me and Lieutenant Commander Amon and Lieutenant Commander Kato have recently discovered one of the crew members being affected by synesthesia, which is believed to be aforementioned affected by the field that is emitted by the wormhole we are approaching. We believe that if we approach it at the pace that we have, more crew members will be affected unless we return a solution to this cause of events. Here's the data file that I have subscribed for you. So I've given her like a full report on like what little we find, but it's a detailed report on everything.
Looks at the pad. Fascinating. Tell me, use your forward sensor array to get a scan of the immediate area ahead of us and tell me what you're able to see.
Scanning.
All right, and I guess if you can give me a reason and science with the ship assisting you with a sensors science, I'm actually going to be spending a lot of threat here to make this a difficulty of 5.
Okay, so reason science for me?
Correct.
Potential focuses targeting systems?
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
Okay. Target number 5, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I am going to spend 4 threat and 4 momentum, 2 threat to get the full.
I don't know if we've used this rule yet. Did we use reserve power last time? I can't remember.
We did.
We did, yes.
We did. Okay,
Yes.
yeah. Well, the
I can
Amaterasu has reserve power if you want to use the ship's determination kind of a thing.
Yeah, I'll actually, use the ship's reserve power and still buy 5 dice for myself.
Okay, so don't even roll for the ship. I just know that you already have 2 successes.
Right. I was also going to ask, does the ship have a dedicated focus? Because it's...
No, the ships don't have dedicated focuses, but I would not be surprised if one gets added in a future splat.
Right,
okay. What is a dedicated focus?
So if you have a dedicated focus, whatever focus you're dedicated in doubles your crit range. So I think Amon has it, or Matan has it. Yeah, Matan has it for infectious diseases.
I think maybe that wasn't the question I meant to ask, but also good to know. I thought, do ships not roll a focus when they roll to assist?
Oh, they do.
They always have focus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But since you spent reserve power... Yeah, but since you spent reserve power, you don't need to even roll because it's already rolled at 1.
Oh, okay. All good.
Is it a talent that gives you a dedicated focus?
Yes, that's okay. No, it's specialization that Matan has, not dedicated focus. Yeah, that's
Okay.
what it is. Yeah, there's a talent literally called dedicated focus.
All right. Okay. I won't be ticking that box because I don't have that focus. Roll. I get five successes, and almost complication, but
Hmm.
not quite.
Yeah. And yeah, so that is 7 total successes, meaning you get 2 momentum right back, which I
Sweet.
believe puts you at 3, if I did that right. I think you're
Think
at
so,
We
3.
yeah.
had four and I
Yeah.
spent all four, so we should be at two.
Okay, so you're at
Okay.
2. Okay. All right. And
Um,
then I had that much threat and I spent that much. So you should be at 2 and 6. There we go. So I guess what you're detecting is that there is a very small device that's a little bit less small than a runabout, but there is a device that is transmitting this quantum resonance field that matches what Matan found earlier. And it is in the subspace node next to Pandora's Gate.
there is a device 2 meters across, 2 meters tall, 4 meters from width to stern that seems to be emitting this energy field. And I use the holographic field that is present in the ship to give like a 3D image for the captain to see. There seems to be emitting the field, which is affecting the crew. It is located here from the location from us to the wormhole. And then I just do another diagram of like, distance between the object, the Borees ourselves.
Once again, fascinating. Tell me, are we able to nullify this field it is producing?
Can I spend a momentum to know if any of my standard procedures would be able to do this?
I'll give it to you for free. I would say you'd have to do something creative with the deflector.
From my extensive database, we would have to do some creative with the deflector. I do not have the exact specifications in my database.
Hmm. Well, are we able to tell the origin of the device?
I spend a momentum to see if I know the origin of the device.
I'll give it to you free once again. Doesn't match any on record.
Unknown alien origin, Captain.
Hmm. Further fascinating.
Do you wish for me to go to yellow alert?
I believe that prudent, yes.
Immediately as the captain agrees, the ship goes to yellow alert.
Well, this is interesting. If we were to erect a force field in one of the shuttle bays and bring this object aboard, do you believe we could prevent it from affecting the crew?
Immediately, no. There would be a period of time that we would have to adjust to compensate for its close proximity to ships. It's able to affect us at a distance of, and I give the exact distance in whichever is the most appropriate measurement.
Hmm. I see. In that case, I guess Commander Mara has brought to my attention that you have been working with Matan and Kato. The three of you come up with a plan to settle this, and of course, I trust your discretion in this matter, but if it comes that I need to inform the crew, I will certainly do so.
Do you wish for me to notify Helm that we should maintain station keeping until we have solved this issue?
That would be prudent, yes.
I just sent the captain's order through myself.
Very good. Thank you, I guess.
I then wink out and return back to Bay 3.
No, 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 no. Ensign, the yellow lights are a good thing.
But
Are they in your
Well,
culture?
no, it's no. He sort of looks up at Matan. Not a good thing in that sense. I just meant not something that he, in his state, should be sort of alarmed about.
Oh, yes, I see what you mean. Yes, of
but
Yes.
course.
they're yellow like sunflowers, man, and sunflowers are like an eye into Mother Earth.
I
This is kind of like a
don't.
compound eye, considering what the sunflower seeds look like,
Oh,
all
Well,
embedded in the.
Yeah,
considering
it's
that this affliction may be mentally affecting the patient, would it be prudent to anesthetize him in case he feels distress from the field's effect? He may not
Well,
be feeling
Commander,
it
does
right
he feel
now.
distressed?
I mean, can we just? Um, no, quite the opposite, actually.
Precisely. I'd rather not introduce another complicating reagent into the situation since we're not entirely certain how he's being affected.
Well, either way, I believe a one of your members of your staff should take over the care of this patient, as we have orders from the captain.
Do you have members of staff? And she sort of he sort of looks around.
There are
Yes.
there
Well,
are
I don't run a sick bay by myself. I appreciate your respect for my talents, but I mean, if I was to triage patients coming into all these misaligned biobeds, I would be.
there are 24 medical personnel directly tied to this med bay, as well as another 20 that could be called in an emergency, and another 20 on top that could be called in case of anybody who has been
just
indisposed. Yes,
thank you.
you're welcome.
Hmm.
Why should I assign one of my staff to address
We
this
have
matter?
orders from the captain to deal with the probe, which is near the wormhole, which is giving off an energy field,
There's a
which is
There's a
probe.
affected.
probe.
I do not know if it's a probe, but it is
I think
the
we just
most
like look at
apt
each other.
the most apt description of the device. The captain has asked us three in particular to try to rectify a solution until having to inform the rest of the crew.
Ah,
The captain doesn't want to inform the rest of the crew.
Not at this current moment.
Oh, okay.
They were for the yellow alert.
and this probe. Does the captain want us to bring it aboard to investigate
I
it, or
I did advise bring it aboard immediately, since we do not have the energy fields adjusted to stop the energy field. I believe the best course of action is to find out how the probe is affecting us, erect a countermeasure, and if the captain then wishes to bring it aboard to find its origin, then we should do so.
well, this sounds like a perfect opportunity to take out the support craft, the
It,
Yetagarasu.
mm,
We
yes.
can take a small crew out, investigate the effects of the device, and attempt to devise a countermeasure without endangering the rest of the vessel.
I agree. In fact, I was also thinking that we could move the Amaterasu out of range of this device, and
I have no discernible range on the probe's effect.
right, and we could move the Amaterasu outside of that range easily.
Indeed.
Taps combat. Lieutenant Commander Kato to Captain Kaffa.
this is the captain. Go ahead.
Um, Firstly, hello. I don't think we've really spoken in. We were discussing the mission profile that you'd given us through Aegis. We thought it might be prudent to suggest that the Amaterasu moves outside of the range of this probe, and we take the Yata Garasu to investigate separately, and thus reduce the exposure of the rest of the crew to this energy field.
Hmm. Very prudent course of action.
Yes, good, thank you. We will do that then. Would I be permitted to sound the boarding alarm for for the Yatagarasu?
You can tell Igus to do so, yes.
Thank you, Captain. Kato out.
There's a small text saying, does that defer to me being in charge of the mission, or is one of the other lieutenant commanders in charge of the mission? Text
That's
based.
actually something you get to decide in character.
Okay, fair enough then.
Okay.
Does the captain just reply with, like, It is a decision between the three of you.
It's a decision between the three of
Work
you.
it out.
Not my
Yeah.
circus, not my monkeys.
Whichever is most logical.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's what she text messaged. Whoever is most logical. There you go.
Right. Well, I know there's firstly, Aegis, would you mind please announcing the boarding alarm for the Amaterasu?
Would you like minimal crew complement, the three of us, or full crew complement?
I think that would be prudent. Yes.
Which one of the three options?
Oh, excuse me. The minimal crew complement.
Minimal crew complement. So basically, I'm
I
just going
think.
to summon the entirety of the supporting cast to be our minimal crew complement.
Yes, I believe it's 25.4% of the crew.
Please do not make such jokes about that.
How do you get a 0.4%?
Well, it's a fraction of a larger number.
Isn't like every number a fraction of something greater?
Yes, very, very, very good.
I have become
Well, now
into
you're getting
gaming
to the
a quite
philosophy of mathematics.
disdain
That's it.
of the number 2.54 for some reason.
Dear God. You're right.
But yes, Dr. Amon, I believe that me or you would be the key people to be in charge of this mission, since this is either a engineering dilemma or a medical dilemma.
I don't think that would necessarily be the best choice. I would be needed in the Yatagarasu's sick bay to actually make meaningful observations. So Commander Kato should, of course, assume command.
Should,
Indubitably.
but there's potentially a being the comms officer, communication between the probe and us would be paramount, and also being the top engineering officer out of the three of us would also indicate that I would be dictative of the situation. Also, being the security officer in this away mission would also indicate that my prudence on this command mission.
I see. Well,
Unless you have counter arguments.
I didn't understand the argument.
nor did I.
I am the head engineer and security officer in this situation. Since this is both
Oh,
a unknown alien object as well as a security threat, would not mean that my expertise in the situation defer me to the command role. Unless
well,
I am misunderstanding something.
I don't think you're misunderstanding anything. However, to present a counter argument, to the best of my knowledge, you haven't been through the command school of Starfleet Academy. Although I'm sure you probably got it in a file somewhere. Also, we don't necessarily know how this probe might affect you
But it has
being.
affected biological life forms more than it has affected synthetic life forms, which
Well, it's
means
funny
you're.
you say that because I'm going to spend.
Gosh darn it, ELH.
I was waiting for somebody to do it. I'm going to spend 2 threat. I guess everything goes mauve.
Malv?
Mauve.
What's Malv?
No.
It's a color.
I guess just stops speaking and just starts blinking. My visual receptors are showing the color mauve.
Oh,
I don't know what to do with that information. Just a blanket color, or is
Blanket
every?
color with outlines.
Like I said, man, mauve is the color of the universe.
I mean, I feel like immediately that precludes you from taking command because you
Correct.
appear to have been compromised.
I have been compromised.
yes. Could you describe this color for me? Because I understand that you're referring to a color, but apparently Cardassians don't have any direct translation of the color
Can we walk and
mauve.
talk? I feel like we
Yeah,
could.
it might be wise,
ELH, how
yes.
do I spell this color so I'll be able to describe it scientifically?
Mauve.
Mauve.
We pronounce it
Mauve.
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 Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
that might be me being an American uncultured. So who knows?
That's what. I just think it's probably one of those
It's
like aluminum and aluminium and.
my
Mhm.
favorite color.
I see.
Because I was
So
going for purple to be Igut's favorite color. I actually prepared that. It's just I've never asked that question.
um, the
it's
walking. Shall we?
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay. And we're going to
Do
head
you
to
wish
the.
for?
Yeah, to go. Actually.
I
Go. Sorry,
will.
Bean. Go on.
When disengaging Igus the AI from the computer and becoming Igus the hologram, do
Mhm.
I still only see purple?
Yep.
So there'll be a flicker as Igus will also put on a mobile emitter and go, "Hi everyone. Why do I only see purple?"
We're really going to have to discuss the way in which we interact with you and how your various different constituents, the
Yeah.
computer, how they relate to each other, because it seems like we're now
Oh,
entering
it
into
seems
a
like I'm
new
being compromised.
conversation.
That's not a good thing.
Well, no, it's not. But like more importantly, do you not remember you when you're the ship as
I
opposed
do
to
now.
you?
You have to work on that lag. You might want to talk to engineering about that.
I have to access, I guess, the computer's memory logs for that.
Oh,
Her memory logs are not my memory logs. I can only ask her if she gives me permission.
so
Huh.
we.
Okay.
It would be like me gaining access to your memory logs.
So wait, I can we have?
We don't have memory logs per se.
You have a hippocampus.
We have memory engrams. I mean,
Thank you. Yes.
I mean,
Not exactly logs.
Okay,
Regardless,
I failed biology. Stop,
I
that's
don't.
okay. I failed computer science, so it seems kind of pertinent to the compass. Should we? And again,
The
motions
walking.
to the door.
Yes.
Yeah, and
And as you all get aboard the Yatagaratsu with your support crew, and the Yatagaratsu drops off of the Amaterasu, and the Amaterasu heads to a safe distance, that's where we're going to make this a two-parter.
oh,
Gosh darn it. You could just like jam for 3 hours, it's fine.
this is what you tune in for, right, chat?
Mhm.
One thing I would say is we did get an evil complication.
Oh, I already turned it off, so I already refunded it.
Oh,
So we're
okay, good.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, this is definitely going to be a two-parter, and I always feel bad interrupting you three because I feel like half the fun is just letting you just go.
I mean, we role played for
No.
an hour in a sick bay doing next to nothing, so
You need to kick us in the pants occasionally.
Yeah.
I mean, chat's correct. You could go longer, ELH. Nothing's stopping you.
I think he has responsibilities to attend to.
Yeah, I have responsibilities,
Darn it.
unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Twitch, stick around because we're gonna raid somebody. But YouTube, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you later. Bye, YouTube.
Bye
Cheers.
bye.